Confidential informants and undercover operatives direct the rioters on January 6, 2021. Listen to this. Unindicted co-conspirators in the 1-6 cases raised disturbing questions of federal foreknowledge. Believe it or not, that is the main headline on Revolver News on June 14th, 2021. Sadly, that is Flag Day for you liberals afraid of the American flag, and that flag is the solemn reminder of our oath, our commitment to the Constitution. Friends, you've all heard me rant about the FBI going after MAGA grandmas and people who just strolled into the U.S. Capitol through open doors in their attempt to scare the citizens angry about the stolen election into submission, even to stop them from exercising their rights to speak and think freely. You've heard me shout from the rafters about the hundreds of political prisoners being held in solitary confinement and the reports about the physical and mental abuse they're undergoing. I've also been quite clear that all who instigated any violence on that day should be found and charged so we, the citizens, and they get their day in court. I stand by every single word I've ever said about this matter. Now, Revolver News has published a very thorough analytical article about what is very likely the rest of the story, as Paul Harvey used to say. Here's what they tell us from the charging and other court documents in their analysis. First, there are an unusual number of unindicted co-conspirators among the groups that have been charged with conspiracy who are known to the FBI and are identified as directing the actions of rioters in various groups who are charged with the conspiracy. Oath Keepers, Proud Boys, 3%ers. We have yet to see them mention the Antifa guys, but they were there too, we know. We've documented it. Second, Revolver's in-depth analysis reveals striking similarities between the January 6th interactions between the indicted and unindicted and the conspiracy charging documents in the Michigan Governor Whitmer kidnapping conspiracy last year. We now know in that case that 5 of 14 of the actors in the plot were government informants or employees, and that plot originally included a plan to storm the Michigan State Capitol. The similarities don't stop there, according to new evidence uncovered by the Revolver News investigators. In both plans, it appears the CI, or confidential informants, and other operatives provided the same types of functions to the team. This news is very disturbing when you combine it with the fact that the head of the FBI field office in Detroit, Stephen D'Antuono, who oversaw the infiltration, and I might add possible incitement operation into the Michigan plot, was quickly and quietly promoted to lead the coveted Washington, D.C. field office. Revolver News reports that he is also a key figure in the investigation of what happened, guess what, on January 6th. As Steve Bannon likes to say, we don't do conspiracy theories, but there are no coincidences. And Revolver's analysis thoroughly and explicitly documents all of these facts and many, many more. I highly recommend you all go read it so you have a direct factual knowledge of the events. That is extremely important because the investigation surrounding January 6th so far into what happened only takes into consideration possible failures of the government providing enough security for the event or intelligence failures. Not whether the government not only knew about the possibility of violence, but actually participated in it, maybe even inciting it, and resulted in a protester being executed by a Capitol police officer, the only death directly caused by the riots. I'll leave you with this final bit from the Revolver article. Quote, if it turns out the federal government did in fact have undercover agents or confidential informants embedded within the so-called militia groups indicted for conspiring to obstruct the Senate certification on January 6th, the implications would be nothing short of seismic, especially if such agents or informants enjoyed extremely senior level positions within such groups, close quote. Go to revolver.news, folks, and read and follow this analysis work. It's the best available that I've seen, and we should formulate our citizen actions regarding our demand to know exactly what happened on January 6, 2021 around the questions that are posed in the article. We must do this, or the event history will be written that there were intelligence failures and a bunch of Trump supporters tried to do an armed insurrection against us all, which is obviously a continuing false political narrative and disgusting to everybody that's not part of the swampy, dirty culture inside the DC belt.